Howdy neighbors, David here. And today on Cooking with David, we are making pork belly. Not just pork belly, we are going to bake it and then we are going to cut it, deep fry it, and make it with some Brussels sprouts. So, let's do this. Okay, so first things first, preheat your oven to 360 degrees and half you about a cup of strawberries. Now, I say a cup, you're only going to need a half a cup. We're going to use this to make a roasted strawberry balsamic vinaigrette, and half of them will be for the vinaigrette, half of them will be for snacking because they are delicious. And while they are cooking, we will be taking this delicious looking pork belly, seasoning it with 3 very basic ingredients, and tossing it into the oven for about 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes maybe. I love this pork belly. I love this recipe. It is absolutely amazing. It's going to blow your mind. And look at those numbers for those of you on keto. Those are your perfect keto numbers, ladies and gentlemen. It's so sexy. Okay, so 20 minutes in the oven with your strawberries, and while those are going, we are going to take your pork belly, put it in a pan lined with foil, and I mean line the heck out of it because I don't like to clean up a lot of messes after I'm done cooking, and the more foil you use, the less mess you have to do on your pots and pans, and that's good. So, I've got my Himalayan pink salt, and you don't really need a lot of it because we're going to add salt to it after it's cooked again anyways, so always remember, you can always add, never subtract when it comes to cooking. While that's going, I'm going to get my coffee blackened seasoning. Got this stuff at H-E-B. I'm going to learn how to make it myself, or die trying, or just end up going back to H-E-B and buying more, because, why am I going to die trying to make a blackened seasoning when I can just go buy this for like $8? It's fine. And it's delicious because I love coffee, and pork belly is bacon, so we're kind of combining coffee and bacon to make this pork belly. And it's really kind of cool, and I like it because I'm lame and I'm a fatty, and this is such an amazing looking meal. Now, I'd like to apologize to you now. I'm not going to be finishing this video here at home. I'm going to finish it at work because I broke my Fry Daddy and am currently in the market for a new one. And so since I don't have a deep fryer here anymore, we'll be taking these to my job and popping them off there. And they're going to look a little dark. I prefer my Brussels sprouts that we'll be doing as a side to be a little extra dark. They're going to be deep fried, and I feel like the longer you leave them in the fryer, you dry them out, you make the Brussels sprouts really crispy, and then you toss them in my roasted strawberry balsamic vinaigrette and reconstitute them, and those leaves just suck up the flavor, and it's so good. Trust me, try it, you'll thank me. Now, what I'm using here is a stevia brand of brown sugar because, like I said, we're on keto and we can't use regular brown sugar, so this is going to be the substitute. You won't be able to taste it. The stevia, it's not all chemically, it's actually very good, and you don't want to use too much of it. Just get it all nice and on top, and keep in mind that it's going to look black once you cook it because of the caramelization of the sugar. Just give it a good pat and rub over. I don't think I love my girlfriend as tenderly as I love this pork belly, which is a shame for her, really. So then we're going to pop that in the oven for about 2 hours to 2 hours and 15 minutes, and then we will cut it up. Excuse me, ball of phlegm. Now, also, we're going to put in some fluid. A lot of people use water or Worcestershire. These are both terrible options. Get you some beef stock. You can make it yourself. I'll give you a recipe for that one day when I have 16 hours to make stock from scratch. But if you don't have that kind of time, just go to H-E-B and get you some. It's amazing. So here's the vinaigrette. We're using 1 cup of avocado oil, 1/3 of a cup of balsamic vinaigrette, salt and pepper to taste because it should be your own preference. Eyeball it, use the force. If you have to wait for the ghosts of your ancestors to stop your hand from shaking over the container, that is also fine. And then we're going to use about 3 tablespoons of honey Dijon because we're on keto and we are not adding actual honey to this. So the honey Dijon will still have a little bit of sugar and carbs in it, but not nearly as much as if you were putting in actual honey and sugar. So we'll get that going in there. And like I said, once your strawberries are done, just measure you out a half a cup and snack on the other half. If you've never had roasted strawberries before, you are missing out. It's almost like they're fermented once they're roasted. They're so good. I'm actually thinking about going and cooking some now just for me to snack on while I finish this video, but that's crazy because I'd have to get up. Anyways, so we're putting in the erythritol, and I hope I'm saying erythritol right because I couldn't ask anybody if I was pronouncing it right, and I'm usually pretty good about my pronunciation and proper diction. So, there's the strawberries. So sexy. Now once you have all of your ingredients in the mixer, you go and get your immersion blender, pop it in, and then give it the old vroom, vroom, vroom. And then once you're done, it should be this beautiful, almost caramel strawberry looking color here. Nice and thick and delicious. And I know you can't see this because it's going to be off camera, but I am going to be licking the vinaigrette off of my mixer. So you're welcome for that visual. And like I said, this is just going to be, you guys use it for salad. You can marinate your chicken in it. But what I'm going to be using it for is to toss my fried Brussels sprouts in and cover with goat cheese. Now here we are 2 hours later, and that is beautiful. And like I said, it's going to look a little black on top once it's done, but that's just from the caramelization of the brown sugar. It's not going to burn your meat. It's not going to taste burned. It's going to taste like money. Have you ever had your food orgasm in your mouth? Because that's what this pork belly is going to do. It's going to orgasm all over the inside of your mouth, and it's going to be amazing. You're going to love it. You're going to beg for it. At least I do. That's just me. So let's get a knife, cut a little piece off here. 1 second, and boom, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's the money shot. Look at it. Could you imagine a more perfect cut of meat? And like I said, toss the Brussels sprouts in the vinaigrette, top it with goat cheese. Use my own personal brand of Basic Bitch seasoning on top of the pork belly once it's been deep fried and it's nice and crispy. And then enjoy your meal.